This episode of the Nerfherder Council is brought to you by Audible. Get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook download by visiting audibletrial.com/NHC.
Warning. The following podcast contains irreverent humor, exceptionally nerdy opinions, potential cursing, and plenty of love for the prequels. If any of the preceding offends you, please turn off this podcast immediately, and may the Force be with you.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
You're tuned in to the Nerfherder Council, your source for Star Wars opinion, conversation, and debate, featuring your hosts, JT. I mean, they killed his mother. What's he supposed to do? Send him a postcard? I wish you wouldn't have done that. AJ.
Well, if you don't remember something you already saw, that does not count as a spoiler. That counts as you not paying attention.
Steve.
It's like what was it, Force Friday at Toys R Us last year? It's just everybody's normal, and then something about microphones, and everything's lit now.
On this episode of the Nerfherder Council, Vulture.com ranked their top 57 favorite Star Wars moments, which inspired us to rank our top 3 favorite Star Wars moments, because 57 is dumb.
This is the Nerfherder Council.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Nerfherder Council. I am your host, JT. With me, as always, are AJ and Steve, and already right off the bat, we have technical difficulties, which is always fun in the world of podcasting.
There's no such thing as that when we record.
Oh, boy. You know, you would think, what is this, our 47th, 48th episode?
48th.
Yeah, we would have, You know, AJ, it is your fault, though.
I think my computer is rebelling, actually.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing using your computer for work? That's not what it's for.
No, I think I poisoned it by recording a Star Trek show on it.
That is probably very true. Steve, you can bleep that in edits, right? Like,
I could totally take that out. There's no problem with that whatsoever.
This is going to be a great night for me, actually, because since I don't have the hardware in front of me, I don't have to mark anything. So if any like profanities are missed or anything, it's all on Steve this time.
Oh, and I have no markers, so put the explicit thing on this one when it goes up.
I will actually try not to curse. I will have to behave myself this show. That's just how it has to be. We all have to make sacrifices sometimes, and that will be my sacrifice tonight.
All right. On a non-topical show.
Yeah, so nobody fuck up, okay?
You know, I was just about to do that, and he beat me to it.
There's the first one I'm not going to edit.
Well, I'm not going to fucking swear, so. See, Steve, now you know there's 2 right in the beginning. So that's all you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
So,
That's 2 minutes in. That's way too much of this I want to listen to a second time.
All right. So today is a momentous day. It is an absolutely beautiful day in my life. It's like every once in a while something in life comes along that happens to you, and it's something that raises you to a different level of consciousness of being. It's seriously like I'm sure all my friends on Facebook saw. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up.
I love podcasting with you too.
Yeah. No, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. I know this is kind of off topic, but yeah, the beta for Battlefront 2 came out today. So later. See you guys. I'm off to play Battlefront.
I have an Xbox over here if you want to play it on a real system.
All right, I'm back.
God, it sucks that bad.
I wish I could go play Battlefront. No, the Battlefront 2 hit today, but it's also my wedding anniversary, so that's kind of cool. 3 years today.
That's kind of cool. You got way happier about the Battlefront 2 beta.
Well, that's why I built that up as a joke, because if my wife is listening, she'd be like, "Ah, oh, you dick." But yep, 3
That's
years
how you keep
married.
her humble, huh?
Yeah. When this is released on Sunday, we will be 1 day away from the new trailer for The Last Jedi.
That is impressive.
Most impressive.
That's very cool. Finally, And you know what it's going to be, knowing my luck? 2.5 beautiful minutes of friggin' porgs.
Oh, of course.
That's all it's going to be.
Of what?
Porgs.
Porg Watch 2017.
Damn right. We're going to be on Porg Watch on Monday.
I could only hope.
All day long, I'm going to be fiending for that. And I took off work my last 2 days of vacation before my vacation resets on October 17th. I'm using them next Thursday and Friday. I'm going to be watching that trailer over and over. Oh yeah, I'm going golfing for sure. If you want to take a morning off work, I'm buying. Let's do it. But yeah, I'm going to watch that trailer over and over again. I have been waiting for this for so long, as I've been on record very vehemently saying throughout the last several episodes, porgs are cute and I have no problem with them, but I'm sick of all the promo and everything being about porgs. I want a trailer. And finally,
Porg Watch.
I didn't have to play the whole. That's okay.
Sure you did.
You said porg. I had to hit it.
But we're finally going to get a new trailer. We are finally getting a new trailer. And I'm very excited to see it, because I'm really wondering if it's going to do for me what the second trailer for Rogue One did for me.
You're wondering if it's going to do for you what internet porn generally does for you?
Gross. No, it's like, and I guess I can't even use Rogue One as the example, because the first Rogue One trailer, I was like, I don't know. And then the second one came out, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this. But I already am at the, I can't wait to see this for Last Jedi. So I wonder what the second trailer, is it just going to like amp it up that much more? Or am I going to kind of have a reversal and go, wait a minute, I don't like some of this. Like, I'm kind of nervous.
I just want to actually have something important of Luke Skywalker in this thing.
Well, I mean, he was pretty reasonably represented in the last one.
I don't think that monologue is actually getting into the movie anywhere. I think that was exclusively for the trailer. So there's really nothing of Luke except for his silhouette.
Well, then it's going to sound perfect at the beginning of our podcast then.
Yeah, there'll be nothing.
Yeah, we'll be the only people promoting that line from here on out.
We're going to keep it alive, man.
Right?
No, that line's in the movie, but the whole like, breathe. Just breathe.
I think it'll be in there. That seems Jedi-ish and Star Warsian enough to be something they would put in there.
You wouldn't get mad because it's very Yoda on Dagobah ripoff-ish?
I mean, it'd be close, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have to see it in context. I think it would depend on how it sounds placed around the other elements of the film and what's going on at the time. Because, we're all worried about it kind of ripping off Empire. And then if they go into even ripping off, getting close to certain dialogue moments, that's even worse. But I don't know. I really don't think they would do that.
Well, this second trailer is definitely going to have a lot more concrete details about the film. The first one really was a teaser. I mean, it had clips here and there, but it really didn't show much.
Yeah.
It was more like a sizzle reel,
Yeah, it's a good way to phrase it.
So this one, I think, should actually do a better job of fleshing out at least a couple story bits for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some stuff that we've heard about, but
it better have some meat on its bones, because Rian Johnson actually tweeted out saying that the damn movie's wrapped already.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there waiting for December to come, which isn't that like exciting and frustrating at the same time?
Yeah.
Knowing that there is a completed they're just done for 2 months.
Yep.
They're just kicking back, doing whatever they want to do, hanging out, waiting for the reviews to come rolling in. Like, they got 2 months to do nothing. This might actually be historic, I think. I think this is probably the earliest any Star Wars production has wrapped.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So, as much as we want to say Kathleen Kennedy can't work with anybody, apparently Rian Johnson's just a doll. Because, I mean, he came in way ahead of deadline.
Yeah. What kills me is that I know there's a brand new Star Wars movie out there that I could see right now, but no.
Right.
Like, I just keep hoping to wake up one day and go, you know what? Screw it. It's done. It's coming out next Thursday. Yeah! Sweet! All right!
You know what's cool about this, though? With the movie completely locked, I think the trailer we get is actually going to have all real footage in it. It's not going to be like a Rogue One case where we get all these alternate takes and scenes that don't even exist and all that kind of crap. Like, this is all going to be footage in the movie.
Or they're going to use stuff that isn't, kind of like unused stuff, so that it doesn't really tease anything.
Oh, come on!
That would be the ultimate moment. More stuff that we get to the theater, like, well, where the hell was that thing from the trailer? Do that again, like the TIE fighter rising up in Rogue One. Like, well, wait a minute, where's the TIE fighter?
Yeah, there's cool things you saw in the trailer that you're just waiting for, and then you're like, man, this movie's almost done. This thing's got to be coming out soon, and then you see the credits.
The Star Wars equivalent of blue balls.
Yeah, right.
Like, God damn it, I saw that thing. Why isn't it here? Like, this sucks. Oh, well, the rest of it was good.
It's just 90 minutes of Zuvio.
That would, see, I have to admit, like, part of me thinks it would be hilarious if it was just one giant troll job. But you obviously can't do that, but that's the whole thing. It's just
not this one, but with JJ coming back for the last one, he's got to throw Zuvio in that thing somewhere.
Wouldn't that be great? It'd be like,
see that he was supposed to have it in the first one, and you got these toys and everything. You know, he's just going to have some smart ass little walk across the camera kind of thing at some point. So you could go, there he is.
That's the thing. Like, he could be in any scene. There's any number of scenes with tons of background characters just fleshing out the space. Throw Zuvio in. Just as a what the hell, you know? I mean, they put R2-D2 in the debris of that 2009 Star Trek movie.
Yeah. No, it'd be better if they did like the Family Guy Star Wars with Osama bin Laden in the desert, where they're showing the desert and he just pops up in the corner, still alive.
Oh yeah.
It'd be great. Just have Zuvio pop his head in the corner, obviously like in one of the special editions, like, I'm Constable Zuvio. And then,
Give him like a crappy Muppet voice.
that would be great, wouldn't it?
Like when Ray was going through the desert at the beginning and the little alien thing popped his head out and was like looking around a little bit. Just have that be Zuvio next time.
Yeah. I'm Constable. And just put his head down.
Stupid Constable Zuvio pops his head up and it's Sam Witwer inside the costume.
It's the only way he gets into an actual live action movie.
It's like there's finally his real Star Wars moment, and it's Zuvio.
And they still give him a Muppet voice. Wouldn't it be great? They just have him walking across the desert. He has to say something. He's like a fully realized character. He looks awesome. And they're like, and he just walks up to like a vendor, like, I need one of those space frogs, please. Like, what the hell is that?
Like,
they just have the Swedish chef voice. I need a space frog. Bork, 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 bork. And everyone's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Like, and you know in the behind the scenes, it's going to have like something with like J.J. Abrams pointing the camera going, see, there's your friggin' Constable Zuvio. There. You happy? You got Zuvio. That's what you get. Muppet Zuvio. Now shut up about Zuvio. Go collect your action figures
and then the
leave me
Black
alone.
Series goes through the roof. You can't get your hands on them anymore.
They actually have to reissue it in Last Jedi packaging because it's in the new movie.
Yeah, right. You know what they would do? Just take all the unsold ones from the first wave and just rebox them.
It's like Lewis Black's theory on candy corn, how they just gather it up at the end of the year and rebag it for the next.
Exactly. You get this guy like who's collecting everything like me in the Black Series. Like you have like the original release Zuvio that you can get for like $2. And then you buy the new one. It's like the rare Last Jedi one for like $50. You put them next to each other and you look at them for a second. You're like, hey, wait a minute. Oh,
his glasses are red or something like that. You know, so they got to just take them out of the packaging and color them in and put them back in the same Black Series packaging.
One little swipe of paint.
Yeah.
Like it's minuscule. Use a toothpick.
They're just paying somebody over there at Hasbro or wherever just to put a little black line with a Sharpie on his side somewhere and repackage it again.
Exactly. But no, yeah, we're getting a new trailer tomorrow. Since this will come out Sunday, we're getting a new trailer tomorrow.
Maybe will be in the trailer.
You never know. Maybe
then we get Porgs, and then we can make another bumper for Zuvio Watch 2017.
Yeah. I wonder what they're going to do like with the new characters. Like are they going to show I mean, you haven't seen Rose in a trailer yet, and she's supposedly a big part of the movie. So I mean, you have to assume they would show Rose. What Benicio del Toro's character, I forget what his name is off the top of my head, but
DJ,
that's right.
Ezra.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you haven't seen him, so you would assume that there's something like that. I mean, there's a few things like we haven't seen Canto Bight. We haven't seen anything of Cantonica, which I think the only thing we're going to see of Cantonica is Canto Bight. So,
is that the name of the planet that it's on?
Yes, Canto Bight.
Wow, you know more about this thing than I do. Then,
yeah. I keep reading these articles, and it's getting closer and closer to. I
thought you wanted to go in unspoiled.
I haven't gotten major spoilers yet. It's just the little teeny pieces of stuff I've gotten so many different times kind of puts a little bit of an idea of a plot line together.
I'm still doing great. I'm like August Cleveland Indians, dude. I haven't seen anything since episode 7. Nothing on that, nothing on Rogue One, nothing on this. I've been so spoiler free. I'm so proud of myself for it.
You're like, I know Crate has red dust. And after that,
yeah,
I don't know.
I know we want the Jedi to end and there's red dust on the planet. That's cool.
Porgs, red dust, Jedi end.
Yeah.
Seacrest out. Mic drop.
Yeah. Gold pajama Snoke.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Now, once the movie drops, we're going to expect you to have some knowledge of it, okay? I don't know like when your spoiler embargo lifts, but if something actually is released and then you don't know anything about it, I think that's more being uninformed than being unspoiled.
No, why are you
have a Star Wars show.
Why are you setting your goals so high for me?
He'll be in the theater with us, so it's not like he's not going to know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the movie. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Paying attention the whole time. I don't know.
You know what I'm wondering?
If my Stormtrooper costume is going to show up by the release date?
We already know it's not. You're the dummy that ordered from Anovos.
So it might be out by the 3rd or 4th different trilogy they make by 2013 when Disney's
I know
done with this.
I know we can't bite a hand that might potentially feed in the future. Let's say we, by some miracle of creation, blow up and like a Novos might be a sponsor or something. I know we shouldn't say things like this, but holy crap, did they have to get their shit together? Pardon, that's another marker. Sorry, but
yes, they do. No, and I keep getting mad because I'm subscribed on the what is it? FISD, First Imperial Stormtrooper Detachment. Yeah, the message boards for the TK builders.
Right.
And I keep seeing like posts of like, got my Novos kit, got my Novos kit, got my Novos kit. I'm like, fuck you.
We weren't supposed to swear. We're not supposed to give Steve markers.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to find any of this, so it's not a big deal.
Well, that's why I'm trying to like drop cluster bombs of profanity, so you can just like spot check here and there and get like 10 for the price of 1.
There you go.
Yeah, that would mean I'd have to listen back to it, and that's just not going to happen. So
lazy ass.
It's more bang for your fucking buck.
AJ, my God, dude, he doesn't want to listen to this for markers. Even I know this.
Look, it passes through my hands first anyway.
Well, you better listen to this and put all the bleeps in.
But yeah, anyway, you said not to bite the hand that may potentially feed, but Novos knows they're screwing up.
Dude.
We're not the only people that are bitching about this stuff. 99% of the people that order from them know that they are not getting their crap in a timely fashion. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they know they're screwing up over there. So
I'm kind of amazed that they're still allowed to operate. Like, they got the license. Lucasfilm has to know what's going on. But they keep having, like, pre-orders for this or interest list for that and, prototype displayed, production may vary and all this crap. Like, how the hell is Lucasfilm letting this vendor operate this poorly with their stamp of approval on it?
That baffles me because, like we were talking about right after Celebration, our friend James, who's been waiting 2 years for a kit. And I'd be willing to bet if we hit him up right now and asked him, like, have you got it? I bet you he hasn't. And so that's been another 5 months. So almost half a year has gone by.
And we talked about it, and I was kind of on the side of a Novos back in the day when we started talking about the things that Black Series is doing. And I got a really good look at the Poe Dameron helmet.
Yeah.
And they've only been doing it for 2 years ish now with actually doing the helmets and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That Poe Dameron helmet is really nice.
Yeah, it is.
So I mean, honest to God, they're another year away from damn near putting a Novos out on their asses, because if Black Series is going to start putting stuff out that is almost cosplay 501st legal, that kind of quality, and you're gonna get it on the shelves at Toys R Us every winter and stuff like that. That's gonna throw a Novos in the toilet.
Yeah, your action figure company is putting out better product than your cosplay company.
How about the fact they're putting out product?
Oh yeah, there's always that.
It's like it exists. They're winning. Like, oh my God. Speaking of products, I was going to ask you guys, how fast do you think Supreme Leader Snoke gold pajamas are going to hit the market after The Last Jedi? Since that's like the whole,
see if there's a pre-order on the Novos yet.
Oh yeah.
Right. I swear when I because the Black Series figure and all that, and they've released that he's in these like kind of yellow gold robes or whatever. I was like, boy, that's already produced. Like that's just waiting to hit store shelves, like a pajama set that's like, you can wear Snoke's pajamas. Like,
I think that one might be a little out of left field, but dude, when you go to Celebration, there's going to be some old man that's like in his 80s or whatever that's just having a great time. He's going to be wearing those pajamas, just moping around the Celebration floor and everything.
How great would it be?
You're going to take a picture with him too. You're like, hey!
It'd be great if I was like a really old dude. I looked all pruny and stuff. I would just get like a yellow goldish bathrobe and just jump out of bed, throw a pair of skivvies on, put my bathrobe on, and go out to Celebration. Be like, I'm cosplaying. Everyone would be like, oh, look, he's Snoke. Even though it's just me being ungodly lazy.
Like, for next celebration, just shave your head completely bald, and right before, like, when's the floor open? Like 9 a.m.-ish?
10 a.m., yeah.
At 9, 10 o'clock, just jump in the bathtub at like 7 o'clock. Chill in there for 2 hours and then throw that robe on and run downstairs onto the floor.
Right?
You got a good 10, 15 minutes of great cosplay before you just look like a creep.
Right?
Don't walk past the slave Leia.
Yeah. Right. Are you trying to be Snoke, but you're all generally? Yes, yeah, kind of.
You're trying to save face by quoting Snoke,
right?
As you're just a naked creep in a bathrobe.
A naked old creep in a bathrobe. No, I'm Snoke.
You're just climbing up on top of big chairs. Bring him to me.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm kind of proud of myself.
Kylo Ren back.
I'm pretty proud of the general I just did. That was actually pretty good. Good for me. That's my singing background right there.
Andy Serkis would be proud.
I know. Get me a role in the new movie. So anyway, let's jump on topic here. I saw some interesting stuff online the other day, which kind of brought something to my mind. We haven't really gotten into a very heavy opinion-based episode in a while. And what I saw were a few different websites that had listed the top 40 or 50 or 26, whatever, greatest Star Wars moments. And I started thinking, even before I clicked on them, I went, what are my favorite Star Wars moments? Like, if I had to think of anything in the 8 movies.
If you really had to narrow it down to a good 3 to 5.
Yeah. And the first 3 I thought of were all Millennium Falcon related. Go figure. And I was like, well, no. So I had to kind of refine mine and really get down to, for me, my 3 that I came up with.
You just want to start with one and go around, or you want to dump all 3 of yours right off the bat?
I figure we'll go through these articles just a little bit and see things that made the list. Like Vulture has one that, I think it's like top like 57 or something. And I mean, there's some interesting stuff. I mean, that you wouldn't consider people would be going, oh man, this is the greatest ever. Like one of theirs is the death of Han Solo. That's not great.
Well, when you're going all the way down to 57,
yeah,
this is like trying to when you're in the NFL war room at the draft and you're like, well, it's the 7th round.
Yeah.
We've got the 235th pick overall. Who do we take?
Yeah, we need a 17th wide receiver.
57 greatest Star Wars moments. There's only 8 movies.
Yeah.
That means like that's damn near like a top 10 per movie.
You talked about the NFL draft. We all know whenever anybody played a Madden game and you had to do the draft, you'd make your first 2 picks, and then you just spam the X button the whole rest of the way through.
Auto.
You're like, why did I draft 7 kickers? What the hell?
Right. Well, I mean, like this one, like
best player available.
It's stuff that you wouldn't think about. Like the last one on the list is number 57. Dude, where's my theme music? Basically, the lack of the Star Wars theme in Rogue One. I'm like, that's not one of the greatest moments. That sucked. I thought, like, yeah. I mean, number 56. The 20th Century Fox fanfare. Like, who cares?
That's a studio jingle. That's not part of the movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, the things I wrote down for an honorable mention, I did put the fanfare. Because it's like just that feeling of sitting in the theater once that's done and you know you're getting the black screen and then you're just like waiting for the big Star Wars and the music starting. I'm like, that's a cool moment when you got that hot 5 seconds where you're just waiting for the movie to start in between the fanfare and Star Wars and the theme music.
I cannot argue with that kind of logic because mine are all emotional connections that
honestly,
I have.
that's
so
probably more of a feeling of the actual Star Wars theme starting. But yeah, it's that like 2 or 3 seconds between the fanfare and the theme that you just kind of get that the kid on Christmas feeling there. So yeah, I did write that down as an honorable mention.
Right.
And Star Wars has basically co-opted that entire jingle because have you ever seen a 20th Century Fox movie with it besides Star Wars? You feel ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear that jingle and then you're like, you're waiting for it. You're waiting for it. And oh, it's X-Men.
All right. That's like when now it's basically when, you see the Lucasfilm logo and it's green and it turns to silver and it's shimmering. You're like, oh, I know what's coming. And there's only one other thing that could come after that where you're not like, ooh, you're ripping me off.
Red Tails.
No, shut up.
Right.
I actually
you just get done with the fanfare and you got that little bit of silence and then Caddyshack.
Hey, that's a funny movie. I bet you it was something before electricity. Hey, you scratched my boat.
Wait, seriously, Caddyshack was Lucasfilm?
No, it was not. He's making a joke.
No,
I just
something crappy, damn it.
It's just the 20th century thing. And it might have been Caddy. I don't know if they were Fox or not.
But it's like with the Lucasfilm thing, it has to be Star Wars. The only way I'd go, all right, that's cool, is Indiana Jones. But
if they make anything else?
Or you get this.
That's what I'm saying. Once they start making other stuff, if they show the Lucasfilm logo and I go, oh, and then it's some other thing, I'd be like, what the hell is that?
Silence, black screen, the green Lucasfilm, Willow.
A remake.
Box Trolls 2.
Oh my God. So this is something interesting on this list. So check this out. This is kind of, further down. Now, they have these two moments back to back. Now, which one do you think is ranked higher? Chewie, We're Home. Okay, episode 7. Or first time you see Kamino in Attack of the Clones. Which one do you think is ranked higher?
Can I answer? Because I have the article up on my screen.
What do you think? I'll ask Steve.
Which would be ranked higher? The Chewie We're Home moment.
You would be wrong. Can you believe that?
To see Kamino? Really?
Yeah. I'm not.
Oh, yay. Rain. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. Dude, Chewie We're Home would be in my top 5. It's like I like Kamino. It's a cool looking planet. I love the prequels, but honestly, it's Chewie We're Home. It's like the reintroduction of Han Solo and Chewbacca on the Millennium Falcon, no less.
I'd hate to keep saying it over and over again with the whole "it needed to happen" thing, but the only thing that takes away from the Chewie We're Home is that it was in the trailer. If you would have went into the theater not knowing that happened and then that moment hit, it probably would have felt 10 times better.
Yeah.
But doesn't it still count, though? Because I remember losing my mind. I remember watching this.
I mean, it still was an awesome moment. Like, you had that build-up because you knew Rey and Finn were on the Falcon already, and you're like, it's coming, yay.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, where is he? Where is he? As soon as I saw the Falcon, I was like, when's Han coming? When's Han coming? Where's Han? Where's Han Solo?
I think it still counts as a moment, whether it's in the trailer or in the film, because when it hit in the trailer, that's what you're saying, JT, you're saying that your moments are emotional attachments.
Yeah.
And we both remember, and Steve, I'm sure you do too, the first time you saw that trailer and that scene came up.
Yeah. I remember standing at work watching it while I was supposed to be doing actual work. And I'm staring at my phone that's plugged into a little radio, just staring down at it, watching that trailer. And I'm like, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever watched in the history of my life.
When that screen went black and I was all of a sudden here, Chewie, we're home. I've said it before. I sprang off the bed. I was screaming in the room like that. And again, Kamino is a great looking planet. It's a cool, it's an awesome part actually of Episode 2. It's one of the most unique environments we've ever seen in Star Wars. There's nothing else like it.
It looked like glorified Jetsons.
Well, no, it did not. It was shut up. It was very unique and still
It
is.
was, yeah.
But it's not Chewie, we're home. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that's just
All right.
not it.
Before these numbnuts ruin any more of our moments, you want to go through any of our own first before these guys crap on them on their list?
Yeah, did you guys rank yours? Because what we're gonna do
No.
for people, for the listeners at home,
No, you can see right on my little list, right on the top, no particular order, because I really could not put these in any.
I have no
1, 2, or
particular
3
order
moment.
either.
By the way, can we just point out the fact that Steve made notes for this episode?
I
Like,
know.
He really
Show
tried,
prep.
man.
No.
Show prep. Look at you.
No. He said notes. Note. Singular.
There's more than one word
There's
on it, though.
multiple
so-
sentences on there.
I didn't even write down the back of this thing, and it's only like a little 3x4 piece of paper. So
That doesn't matter. After 2 years of doing shows, you actually have notes.
I'm going to frame
That's
this
huge.
thing. I'm gonna
That,
frame
sir, is show prep.
Yep.
That is provable show prep right there.
We can eBay that for like $1.
Maybe.
All right. If you autograph it, we'll get $1.50.
Our first Patreon person, if we ever sign up for one, we'll just
You
send
get
this
Steve's
to him.
show note.
Here, I got a Sharpie now. Hold on.
It's now officially autographed.
There
See,
we go.
look
you,
at
can
all-
even, you can even hear me writing on it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Go back, episode 48, somewhere around 29 minutes in. You can hear me signing your piece of paper. Great job.
We actually have a whole bunch of random crap here. I still have the panel schedule sitting next to me from Celebration, an episode we did at the end of March. We're either very prepared or incredible slobs because we don't throw crap out.
I usually just slide old notes underneath the laptops here, so there's probably 2-year-old notes under.
Right? Yeah, but so what we're going to do is, because we found this article, we all picked...
I found a note, too. I don't even know what episode this is from, but it's in my handwriting, so I must have done it myself.
We all have notes. But so what we're going to do is...
Dude, this is more of a reminiscing episode than anything
I
at
know.
this point.
Back
There's a
in my
list
day.
of the top 50 characters that we did like 20
Yeah,
episodes ago.
Yep.
Chilling on the table still.
I got a whole bunch of stuff here, man. But yeah, no, what we're going to do is, because we found these articles that have like the greatest Star Wars moments, I thought it'd be cool to have us go around the table and pick our top 3 favorite Star Wars moments. So why don't we do, we'll each go through one of ours, and then we'll go back into the article and see if we find anything interesting. It's like, why would you have that there? Like kind of something interesting you wouldn't think of. But I think, Steve, why don't you start since you have the notes?
You're going to make me waste it already?
I'm
Okay,
going to
whatever.
make you waste it.
All right. New Star Wars.
I think I can already guess what it's going to be, but go ahead.
The scene should have been way longer.
Yep.
The
there.
end of Rogue One and Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I've been waiting years and years and years and years to see my favorite character just be a complete asshole and just murder people, and just like, that's the Vader I want. That's the Vader that when The Force Unleashed 1 came out and you got to play that very first level as Vader on what the hell planet were you on when you were doing that? I don't remember. I think you were fighting Wookiees or something like that.
I think it might have been Kashyyyk, yeah.
I just don't remember. But yeah, just that's the way I played that game. That whole, I'm going to lift everybody up with a force choke and impale them with the lightsaber and then bring it back. Just this whole, like, this is what I wanted that character to be from the get-go, and I finally got it, and that scene just should have been about good 5 minutes longer. They're just,
an entire movie longer.
yeah, just 90 minutes of nothing but that. Can we get that, please?
You know, I've actually been hooked on watching the Honest Trailers series on YouTube, and the one for Rogue One is hilarious for that scene alone. They're like, just think of how awesome this scene is, and then compare it to its sequel, and it just cuts over to the Obi-Wan and Vader fight from A New Hope. It's just so bad.
Man, just that the dark hallway and then the saber lighting up, and
You
just
hear
see
the breathing first.
Yeah, I mean, and he's just, the silhouettes lit up by the red lightsaber, and I just, that's the Chewie we're home moment for me. That
Yeah.
was just like, yes, they're all going to die. This is the happiest I've ever been in a movie theater.
Right? F you, rebels. Now you're getting yours.
Yeah, right.
What I love to think is that it wasn't just for storytelling purposes. I like to think he was lurking in that shadow, just waiting for everyone to like kind of turn around for a second, and then he like cranked up the volume on his breath
Right.
thing.
The torso
He's
light
like, okay,
bright.
wait, now it's good and quiet. All right, turn it up. Turn it up to 11. All right, now I got him. Ignite lightsaber and go force.
He's just in the corner smoking a joint, just
Right.
chilling. He's like,
He was there for
stoned.
like 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
anytime.
He was actually going to be really nice, and he heard one of the rebels mention sand.
You know, speaking of sand, God, what I saw one of the greatest internet comments ever on one of the Star Wars articles today. It said something about the guy was totally mimicking like current political bull crap, and it was something about episode 2. He says, how could you possibly like that movie? It completely destroyed the sand industry. He went into this detail, and it sounded like a current political comment, but it was totally making fun of the sand stuff. And I was like, I forgot to cut and paste it so I could bring it to the show, but it was hilarious. It was,
That is genius.
It's just like it brings up how coarse it is, which is obviously something we all know. But when you bring it to the forefront, especially in today's beach-ridden climate, you can't like things like that. It was fantastic. But anyway, that's a scene that I think immediately on just about any list would go to the top for almost anybody, because I think it's that movie. And the other thing about that is that it is such a perfect ending to that movie. Because you watch that movie and then they all die and you're like, oh my God, this was such a great movie. Oh, but wait, it's a delicious hot fudge sundae, but no sundae is complete without a big cherry on the top.
I feel like there's time in between the end of Rogue One and the beginning of Episode 4 that I'm like, we could have more of that. We could put more of that in somewhere.
Yep.
Just let them go down on a planet and just start mauling innocent people. I don't care.
Just jump out of the ship and float through space. He's that badass. He just floats down and lands on Scarif and starts mauling
If they
everything.
actually would have showed Anakin maul all the sand people down there in Episode 3, like that would be right up there with it. But like
Right.
they didn't show any of that, and that sucks. Even if they would have showed them all the younglings, I don't care. I just want more of that in Star Wars, and I finally got like 2 minutes worth of it.
You want the NC-17 cut of the prequels, apparently.
Right? That'd be
whatever.
amazing.
You just want rampant destruction and lightsaber battles everywhere.
Yes, just
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What do we do? And he just cleaves them from like the clavicle all the way down to the kidney. Just cuts the kid in half, and you see the kid just look at him, and all of a sudden that part of his body just slides down and thumps on the floor, spraying blood.
You get the old 1980s horror movie thing where he just like impales him with the lightsaber, and the camera cut is actually through the child's back, looking at Anakin
Right.
through the
Right.
perfect lightsaber shaped hole in his chest.
Right? What do we do? All right, all of you line up in a straight line. We have to safety first. We have to get out all at once, and then they all get in a line. We need to escape.
And then
he
you
puts
just
his
do the-
lightsaber up to the
No.
first kid's gut and ignites it, and like 7 of them die at once as it goes through 7 kids. The others
He does the Force
"Ah."
Unleashed saber throw where it's just a whoom, 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 and then it comes back to
Boomerangs throughout the whole room.
Just 20 decapitated children.
It's like that movie Ghost Ship where the first scene where like the wire just gets taut and just like vroom, and decapitates everybody.
Actually, the saber throw was in Clone Wars. I don't know if you remember that, but that was pretty badass. Savage Opress did that to the entire council of the what are those guys called? Hujan Vong or whatever, the dinosaur people, whatever.
The Viet Cong, I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, the Viet Cong.
Sorry, I've been watching a little too much Ken Burns this week.
I haven't seen any of that
Too
yet.
soon.
It's amazing.
Too soon.
Amazing.
But yeah, they actually had to cut that from the broadcast, but it's in the DVD. It's so awesome because you just show they show the saber getting thrown in the one that aired on Cartoon Network.
Right.
They actually in the DVD version show all the headless corpses like falling with the smoldering like orange glow neck rings.
Nice.
What's wrong with that?
That's great.
I don't know, because there's like 9 decapitated people standing there who all slump over simultaneously.
So what? That's
Whatever.
awesome.
Whatever.
That's a mature
this is
theme.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wars. There's nothing pretty about it. Let's show some decapitated people, damn it. I'm all
agree.
for it.
I agree. All right, so My one of my three on the list.
Are we? So we are not ranking these?
No.
No, I specifically wrote no particular order, so I'm just going to stick with that.
Okay.
I think you and I are going to have a similar one, AJ. So I'm going to wait to do that one until second in case you do it. But mine is going to be one of my three, might be somewhat obvious, but it's the asteroid field chase in Empire, because that was, Han Solo talks about having all these moves and being this crazy pilot. And that's like the first time you really see him just, zipping around and just kicking ass and escaping. And, he's got a much bigger ship than a TIE fighter, but they're blowing up and he's not. Like all the goofy moves. I loved it. It was.
I just think about I think it was Family Guy or something when they were doing that scene.
Besides, I know a few maneuvers. We'll lose them.
That was your maneuver? Moving slightly to the left?
Well, I mean, we're not in the same place we were, huh? That ought to confuse him.
Yeah, but you hardly did anything. You just started listing lazily to the left. I'm pretty sure they can keep up.
Where do they go? There they are. They're listing lazily to the left. Go left, left.
Boy, this guy knows some maneuvers.
Yeah, no, but I mean that was like the first time you really see Han Solo as a pilot, and it kind of added to that, the mystique of the character, because you knew he was this scoundrel. You knew he was, he could shoot stormtroopers and do all this crazy stuff. And I mean, he'd flown the Falcon before, but that was the first time you really see him as this super daredevil pilot that just doesn't care. It kind of cemented who he was. And for me, it was, the Millennium Falcon is obviously my favorite ship ever. Obviously, Han Solo and Millennium Falcon go hand in hand for me. And to see the Falcon doing all this crazy stuff, I was like, whoa, that is so cool.
Yeah, that was the entire production, like clicking at once. You had effects you'd never seen. You had the asteroids, crashing into each other. The music.
I was just about to say, yeah.
I mean, right. Like everyone knows that. If you play anyone that song who's seen the movie, and they know exactly what scene it came from.
You can just picture like the Falcon going in and out of like asteroids as they're flying, and one of them one TIE fighter banging into it and blowing up, and and
then they're bantering back and forth, like he's bickering with Leia while he's doing all this crap.
Yeah.
Like it's like everything that you love about Star Wars all in one scene. It was so perfect.
Yeah, and it just that was Han Solo being my favorite character. As soon as I saw that scene, I was like, there's nobody more badass than Han Solo. Like there's nothing he can't do. Like as a kid when I first saw it, I was like, no one can beat this guy. Like he is the coolest guy ever. He's just the best. And as kind of a side note, when I thought about that, I looked up greatest characters lists, and I found 4 of them, and all 4 had Han Solo number 1. And I was like, yeah. I kept scrolling down the list further and further, and I have to admit, I was preparing to get mad if Han Solo wasn't number 1.
He said he found 4. He actually found like 15. He's just mentioning the 4 that had Han number 1.
Yeah.
Well, these idiots don't know what they're talking about. Back arrow, back arrow, back arrow.
It's like when you lose in Tecmo Bowl, you turn the game off. Nope, I'm still 7-0.
Right.
That dude can take a lightsaber like a champ.
Really? You're going to do that? Thank you, Steve.
I had your back on that one.
Really? That's what you're going to do? One of my favorite moments. What is your favorite moment going to come from? The friggin' Ewok movie? Because you got a hard on for those. You won't let it the frig go.
No.
See, I'm not giving you edits.
No.
That's what it's going to be. The cute little like headband that the goofy, stupid little weird greatest American hero looking little kid with the
we all
blonde
know all
fro.
of his are going to
That's
be
what
Hux related.
Is that what's going to be your favorite moment? You jackass. The baby greatest American hero looking idiot kid.
Actually, it's from the Droids cartoon.
Of course it is. Ass. Why you gotta pop my balloon? Why you gotta do that?
Actually, it's that weird holographic porn from the holiday special that Chewbacca's dad was watching.
Right? So, anyways, all right, AJ, what's one on your list?
All right, I actually did rank mine.
The first one on his list.
I was going to do that, but I thought it was too obvious.
It's never too obvious.
If it's one thing we do on this show, it is beat the dead horse, man.
Yes,
so
that is part of our charm.
Well, besides, if I told you that was one of my favorite moments, I would be lying. It's fun, but it's not top 3. Come on. No, number 3, I'm going to go with the intro to episode 3.
Really?
The drums just beating all dead and being bass heavy.
Yeah.
Which, we've seen that in all kinds of setups.
Yes, we have.
And if you've got a good home theater, especially, it's even better than the real theater because you can crank that bass up to like 24.
Yeah.
Yep.
And come on, whose mind wasn't blown by those visuals? Like they just
as soon as they swoop over the ship and down into the Battle of Coruscant.
Right. Especially when we saw it in 3D, it's just dizzying, all the different levels to that battle.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, I'm extremely upset that they scrapped the stupid 3D project after the first one. I was really stoked
they're done
for all that stuff,
but they're done. We've seen episodes 2 and 3 in 3D.
They're just they were for you guys to see and to never be seen again, apparently. So hopefully they come out someday because I was really excited to check all those things out.
Episode 1, I thought they could have done more with, but 2 and 3 looked unbelievable.
Yeah, because honestly, I walked out of the theater going, the scroll was beautiful. The rest of the movie was just in 3D. There's just nothing to go with.
They really went for the more realistic look.
Yeah.
Rather than I think what's cool about 3D movies is when they kind of make it pop a little more than realism would allow.
Yeah, you got to exaggerate it.
Yeah, that's why I like the home 3D because it pops more. It's right up in your face on a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, the episode 7, you watch that in 3D. There's that one scene of the Star Destroyer with the nose coming right out of the screen.
Oh,
and you just kind of lean back and go, whoa. Like, oh, sorry, it's in a movie. Like, I mean, it looked great in the theater, but man, at home, that thing is sticking right out.
Yeah, when they were doing the like episode 1 and stuff, it was more of there was nothing coming towards you. It was all about a depth into the screen.
Yeah.
And you saw the difference when we got to see episode 7 in 3D, that there was a lot of depth, but they had their moments that they did purposely to bring it towards you and give that pop. And it's just none of that was there when they did episode 1 because it wasn't made for it. So you can't really expect it, but still.
Yeah, I was going to say the two factors are, one, it was shot on film with no thought of 3D, so the shots weren't set up for it, and the conversion process probably was a lot harder.
Yeah.
When you're working with all digital stuff like in 2 and 3, you can just play with that all day long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back to yours, AJ, the battle over Coruscant. I mean, there's so many incredible visuals there, and some of the very best moments in Star Wars universally are agreed upon as being the space battles. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest examples of it, because you introduce a couple cool new things like buzz droids and vulture droids and stuff like that. And, there's just so much going on. And I mean, even little things like where the one, the Republic ship gets blown up and you see the pilot flopping off into space, like little details like that. It was just, I mean, when we went to see that movie, and I'm sure you were like this too, Steve, like you sit down and that's the first thing that happens. You're like, oh, this is going to be kick ass. Like it immediately sets the tone that you're going to have a good time watching this movie.
Yeah. Especially being like, it's a lot like your Darth Vader scene, Steve, where fans have been waiting so long because it's, oh my God, the Clone Wars, they're huge and the scale of this is incredible. And we've got all this great new technology. We can have bigger scenes and more expansive shots. And then that's the first thing you get in the culmination of not just that trilogy, but at that time, the entire saga. Like that was what they chose to lead with in that movie. Like, holy crap. Like, you're in for something special.
Yeah. Like they had opened other movies with battles and, action here and there. But this was really kind of like almost like opening the movie with what could have been a centerpiece of another movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really was just, we're just going to drop this bomb on you right off the bat.
Yeah, it's great when they hit you with that in the first 60 seconds of a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we talked about the little bit of darkness and everything. Like you said, when you saw that pilot going through space, you're like, hey, this is kind of taking a different turn than all these other Star Wars movies. And episode 3 certainly did that.
Yeah.
You don't really see too many, guys crawling out of lava and stuff with their bodies all messed up. Like they really went to some different places with that one, which actually made it really fun to watch anyways.
Right. So here, back to the article. Here's something interesting. Number 27 out of 57, Tatooine sunset. I don't understand how that's a great moment. I mean, it's a very beautiful shot, but I mean, I guess from an artsy standpoint,
I would say artsy with the music and the shot. It's
iconic.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just an iconic.
I mean, I just saw it.
It's an iconic still shot.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Yeah, I just saw it printed on a T-shirt the other night at Kohl's. Like I was browsing T-shirts with Heather, and we're in the ladies section, and there's a pink Star Wars logo T-shirt, and it's got she originally thought it was Rey, actually. I was like, no. See that super faded thing up there? That's the second son. That's
yeah.
Well,
I mean, and here's something interesting. Number 24 on the list is Execute Order 66. Execute Order 66. And number 23, Anakin and Padme enter the arena in Attack of the Clones.
What?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Just like the list on the table there of the characters. When we started calling out characters that were missing from the list and stuff. I think these guys, they write these articles, they give a solid top 5, top 10, and then they go, what can we fill the rest of this thing with? And they just start naming stuff in no particular order whatsoever.
Yeah.
I still wonder how they settled on 57. What kind of number is that?
Maybe they
That's just when they ran out after a week of trying to fill a top 100, and they said, screw it, we got to print the thing.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because another article that I found that obviously we can't get into, but it was kind of funny. You know how, like, on Twitter, you'll have people that they'll say, for every like, I will throw out a curse word or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that if you get 100 likes, you have to do 100 of that thing.
Yeah.
Apparently some guy posted, for every like, I will post something good about the prequels. And at the time of this article, which I think was a couple months ago, he was already at 1,100. So he had to...
God.
But what's funny is they showed a bunch of the tweets, and it's very minor stuff. When you think about it, I'm like, you're like, that is really cool. Like the color palette on Camino, when juxtaposed against Tatooine, kind of a thing. It's like, you change environments. It's that extreme. Like, you can tell it's a different, like, little things like that. But you're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, it's cool. But like I could come up with a couple hundred from the prequels looking at real little things, but holy crap, 1,100. So, but yeah, I mean, Execute Order 66 up against the Binary Sunset. I mean, like I said, it's a beautiful shot, but Execute Order 66 is like the culmination of the good guys just getting crushed. And it's that moment where Episode 3, it's in that scene where everything officially just gets, the scales have been, everything's hanging in the balance. It's just about to tilt. And that's the moment where everything just crumbles.
Yeah.
And evil takes over. So, I mean, if you're ranking them, I mean, if you want to put the Binary Sunset on there, yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful shot, and it's, artistically you could pull a lot out of it if you want to. But Execute Order 66 has so much more weight to it. I mean, that's one of the heaviest moments in the entire saga, all 8 movies. So
yeah, but remember, you were talking about how you compiled your list based on emotional impact.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, that's such an evocative scene with, it's the everyman staring out at the horizon, contemplating his future and where he fits in the universe. There's just so much you can read into that.
Yeah. And again, with the music.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's ingrained in all of us. We know exactly what you say, like, oh, the Binary Sunset. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So
yeah.
It may not have any reason to be that high, but, I mean, we all know it.
Yeah. No, like I say, I love it. It's a great scene, but if you're going to, as soon as I read both of those, I got such an incredibly vivid picture and emotional response off of Execute Order 66, whereas Binary Sunset, I was like, okay. And it's even one of those things, like, you can even look at it with hindsight, and I still feel the same way. Knowing what the Binary Sunset kind of thing, like, foreshadows, like you just said, AJ, like, looking off into the future, what's going to happen, like, where do I belong type of thing. Like, even knowing what happens afterwards, even still, Execute Order 66, what you in hindsight, what is coming, and it's just brutal, because you're about to watch all the Jedi Masters just get slaughtered, and it sucks. It's so dark, and it's just sad. So, I would not have ranked them that way. I mean, putting them both on the list, sure, but ranking them that way, I mean, they even have the next one on the list, like higher up than Binary Sunset, was the lightsaber battle at the end of episode 7, but they include Finn and Rey versus Kylo Ren. I wouldn't put that ahead of Order 66 either. It's just...
See, 7 is such a hard movie to apply this sort of logic to, because that is a great scene, and the fact that it was that long in the making to see a true lightsaber battle again makes it huge and awesome. But really, in the overall context, it's not that great.
The only thing I take from that entire scene, and I think I might have mentioned it on the show before, is, and again, it's John Williams and the music. It's Rey pulling the lightsaber past Kylo.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
That's the moment of the scene. The rest of it, you could take that and you can edit both ends of that, throw it in the dumper, and just leave that one section, and you're good.
Yeah,
and you don't really need the rest of it. You don't need Finn getting his spine broken down and stuff. Which, sadly enough, it didn't go deep enough. But,
Now, that one, I don't think you can rank properly yet, because with Order 66 and with the Binary Sunset, you've got the benefit, as I said a minute ago, of hindsight to kind of give a little more significance and a little more context to it. Whereas right now we don't have anything with that scene. I mean,
you could put that scene on the list. It's just going to be higher up. It's one of those things that you're like, I could put that there, but like you said, Binary Sunset, all that stuff, Order 66, you can't really place that above any of that yet.
Yeah, you don't know what it
Chewie we're
means.
home moment out of episode 7, you could probably put pretty high up on the list.
Yeah,
but I don't think the lightsaber battle could be anywhere up in the top of that.
Yeah, it's cool, but without any context, it could just end up being another lightsaber battle.
Yeah.
Whereas if it when the next 2 movies come out, if it actually is something that foreshadows something incredible down the road, then you can go back and look at it in context and go, oh, that's amazing, because knowing what we know now, it was this monumental shift in something or other. Like, you don't know.
It was that moment where Rey came to terms with the Force and blah, blah, blah. Like, so you can go back on that. And like you said, the rest of it, it's just a lightsaber battle.
Exactly. All right, Steve. So what's your second one on your list?
Episode 1. Going to the prequels. Duel of the Fates.
Nice. All right.
That whole area is probably the coolest section of anything that they were able to do with Darth Maul in a short amount of time in the movies. So that time, that lightsaber battle and the doors opening and the hood coming off and all that, great Darth Maul moment.
Excellent choice. That's a damn good one, because you
and again, the music.
Yes,
that whole thing, it ties that entire scene together. Like, stupid Anakin getting into the Starfighter and stuff, just throw that crap in the garbage. But the whole rest of it, the lightsaber battle and the music and all that, that was a great scene in those movies.
Yeah, and how pumped were you for that scene, again, from the trailers?
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as you saw the two-bladed lightsaber in the trailers, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Yeah.
And being a bad guy, sympathist like I am, it's... that was, like I said, that's probably his best moment. The stuff in Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff, all that, it just seems like they put it there because so many people bitched about him getting killed in episode 1.
Exactly right, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was his real moment, I think, in his life in Star Wars. And so,
well, I mean, it's also, I think, for me, the Emperor. So all of a sudden, Maul comes into the hologram, and you're like, "Who the hell is that guy?" And then now there are 2 of them. Like, by the way, are the Neimoidians not the most the easiest impression you could ever do?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, where are those droidicas?
They went into the ventilation shaft.
Right. But anyway,
we lost the transmission, sir.
It's just the dude from The Hangover.
We should never have made this pocket. Yeah, right. It's Leslie Chow.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, you see him come into the hologram, you're like, who the hell is that guy? And then, you find out there's 2 Sith Lords, so you're like, okay, well, the Emperor whoops a whole ton of ass. Like, what does this guy do? Like, you're excited to see, okay, is he a badass too? And then you get the kind of the tease with, him fighting Qui-Gon in the desert type of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And then like the very best thing they could have done, like you said, Steve, is to have him come out and he's staving off 2 Jedi. He's holding his own against 2 Jedi. You're like, oh my God, this guy must be
the
super
hood
evil.
And then the way that he lit the lightsaber, and you're like, this is the greatest moment in Star Wars.
Yeah, totally. And the fight was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just like it kept going and going. You're like, oh, this is so cool.
How did Lucas not learn from his previous mistakes? Like, Vader was just a thug in Episode 4, but he had the foresight to not kill him. He let him just go spiraling off into space so he could just bring him back if he wanted to. If that was his thing, he left it open. So he didn't write himself into a corner with Vader, and thank God he didn't. How did he come around to Episode 1 and be like, nope, we're definitely killing this guy?
Well, I think Vader was in Episode 4 was always written as the main bad guy. So he was
and not knowing if he was getting a second crack, he didn't want to leave him dead and have to invent a new one.
Yeah, but in the prequels, Palpatine was the main bad guy. So in his eyes, he probably saw Maul as a secondary character. And, I think one of you guys brought this up on the show previously, but if you keep Maul alive, it almost takes some of the gravitas away from the Emperor because everyone's paying more attention to Maul because you already know about the Emperor. Maul's new and he looks cooler. So it kind of might lessen the impact of the Emperor and what he's doing.
It could, but they could have written around that. Especially because Maul was never really like...
They could have just kept the Emperor as the evil voice. Like, you didn't need him to have the lightsaber battles. So, like, you could have just had Maul do all that while getting, the direction from the Emperor. So he could have just been the old man in the back that was steering the ship. Just had Maul do all the physical work.
Yeah. I just think he really didn't. I think he underestimated what the fan reaction to Maul would be. I think it was just a simple miscalculation.
Absolutely.
It was.
I mean, it's
like
just,
if
like Boba Fett, same way.
Yeah, if they would have shopped him out to like test screenings and stuff like that beforehand, you could tell they didn't do anything like that, or else they would have been, everybody and their mother would have been like, who the hell is that guy? Where's the merchandise? What are we, that lightsaber, all that? Like, we need this. And he would have known, like, crap, we have to rewrite this entire movie because I got to keep that guy alive.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the 3D release, comparing the movie poster for the 3D release compared to the original, you can tell exactly how far off the mark they were when they first did the movie because okay, let's run down a couple characters who are nowhere on the 3D re-release poster. Anakin?
Yep.
Not on there.
Yep.
Not on there at all. Jar Jar? Nowhere on there.
Yep.
Darth Maul? Front and center.
Right?
Yeah, it's like I say, hindsight's 2020. I just think it was a gross underestimation.
Yeah,
of what
I can't believe he misjudged the audience like that.
Yeah.
Like that badly.
Well, I mean, at least we got him back, and he met a heroic, drawn out, fantastic end in Rebels. Wait,
yeah, he didn't go out like a punk at all or anything.
Oof, man. We needed the buzzer for that one.
Yeah, that's why I was pointing at you.
Sorry,
Steve missed that one.
I was looking at the time on our recording. I'm sorry.
Nice. All right, so the second one on my list, I didn't rank these, although my last one is going to be kind of interesting. So I wanted to leave it for last. This is the one, AJ, I think you and I might overlap. So it's, I don't know how to phrase this, but for me, like the last 30 to 40 minutes of Jedi as one giant moment, because
it's kind of a cop-out, dude.
It's not really a cop-out because it's the combination of Luke and
it's between the opening crawl and the credits in episode 5.
Listen,
just that little moment right there between those.
You know that bit right after
Can I
long
please
time
explain?
ago in a galaxy?
Jerks.
That little bit of time between the crawl in episode 1 and the credits of episode 7.
Listen, you asshats, let me explain.
I like the last 40% of that movie. That's a great moment.
Dude, let me explain. It's all basically one giant battle because it's 3 battles happening at once. But the emotional weight of all of it is so incredible because you have Luke versus Vader, again, with the music. By the way, you know what I want to say? We all have 3 can we please agree on a universal fourth? John Williams.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying.
I don't
Like,
think
I was thinking about when we were talking the binary sunset thing. I'm like, you take that out of there, you take the music out, crap scene.
Yep.
Like, it's just a useless scene in the movie if that music isn't playing. I
Put the
swear to God.
Cantina theme over that.
Yeah, right.
He's like staring wistfully at the sun. He get din, 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 din,
Like, I get that it's supposed to have all this meaning and stuff behind it, but if that music wasn't there, you would be sitting in the theater like, why are we still looking at
Yeah,
this
what
shot?
the hell is
why
this?
is this still on the screen?
Right. But no, I mean you've got Luke fighting Vader, and that is just one of the coolest things ever. But the space battle that's going on at the same time, where you know that the rebels have almost no chance, you're like, how are they going to pull this off? Even though you knew the good guys had to win, some part of you knew that. It was like, well, how? Because the Death Star's bigger, and Han and his guys are getting their asses kicked by the Empire down on the planet. You know something's going to happen to Luke because he's going to have to go through Vader and the Emperor. So there's just such emotional weight to the thing, and it's all happening at once. So you're just you're white knuckling it for the last like 30 to 40 minutes of that movie, no matter what's on the screen, because it's just there's like such a dire sense of urgency. And I love the vibe of that. The way they have 3 separate storylines going all at once, but you are so invested in all of them, especially the lightsaber battle and the space battle. And I just think every time I watch that movie, I get to the end and it's kind of like you're going up the hill on the roller coaster, and then the space battle starts and it's like, and it's like you're just going down that hill at 90 miles an hour with the wind blasting your head back for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, the stroke of genius was taking the entire main cast of characters and splitting them up so everybody was in a different situation, which instantly adds stakes and weight to everything going on.
Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe not Nien Nunb and Lando. I'm sorry, Lando came in an Empire, but but the Falcon was in there, and that was the real drama for me. I did not care if Lando lived or died, or Nien Nunb, whatever you want to call it. Stack of pancakes face.
Beef flaps, as our cousin said.
Yeah, beef flaps.
That was the best.
But the Falcon was in there, and I wanted the Falcon to survive.
Yeah, I was the same way. I'm like, don't blow up the Millennium Falcon. Like, oh my God, this can't happen, can it? I was panicked. I mean, again, you were white knuckling it the whole time. Like what the hell? Like everything was you were just so invested in it.
I still think you've misconstrued the definition of moment, though. That's an entire act of the film.
But to me, that's one moment, because it you have the same feeling throughout, and I'm allowed to pick my own friggin' moments. Okay, I'm allowed to.
All right,
okay?
we'll give him this one. I want to ask you something about this though.
Okay,
about the deleted scenes from that. Remember how the Emperor? There was a thing that was cut from the movie where the Emperor was giving orders to blow up the moon.
Yeah.
Do you think that should have stayed in or not? Do you think there was enough peril without it? That'd be too much peril.
Let me go back and face the peril. Monty Python again. In watching it, I kind of thought it was unnecessary, because it's kind of like there's so much going on. Like, you're going to add that.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, like my wife is watching this horrible show on Netflix right now called The Fosters, and it's like about this foster family. And every single friggin' thing that happens is some major goddamn crisis. It's so annoying. Like,
oh, that's like This Is Us.
Oh, dude, it's horrible. Like everything, like they'll be, like if they stub their toe, they can't just stub their toe. They have to break their toe, and the bone goes into the foot, and they get a massive infection, and they're on the doorstep of death.
And their health insurance was canceled.
Yeah,
through a billing error. Yeah.
And then they finally get out of the hospital and they're better. And then they go to eat pancakes for breakfast, but they choke on pancakes. And no one knows the high. It's like, stop it already! My God! Sometimes they just go out for a burger and bullshit. Sometimes it's all that happens in life. Stop it! So it's like, if you were gonna have the Emperor, like, now blow up the moon, like, let's add this, like, okay, we got enough going on. So would it be cool? Because you're like, oh my God, are they really gonna kill everybody? But it was unnecessary, I thought.
I think so too, but that's because we're used to the finished version. I wonder if that was in there from the start, if we would feel the same way.
Yeah, and you know what's ironic about that is, with the new canon, knowing things that we know now that they've written in, basically they've kind of written in the stuff with the Emperor kind of doing a scorched earth type of a policy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's part of the Battlefront 2 storyline. The story mode is the Emperor talking about whatever that contingency plan. I forget.
Operation Cinder.
Cinder, that's right. You know, he's talking about that.
It was in Empire's End, the last Aftermath book.
Exactly. So, I mean, that was actually in there. So it might have been something they brought out of a deleted scene like that. Like, you know, wipe everything out for survival type of a thing.
Palpatine is officially the biggest dick in the history of the galaxy, by the way. I mean, this is his policy, is if I die, if the Emperor dies and I am the Empire, then the Empire itself must also die. Right. That was it was in the book. It's right there. He's like, look, if I die, then everything else should die too. So those are my final orders. When I'm gone, blow it all up.
He's like Gene Simmons, where everything must revolve around me or screw you.
Like, damn, dude, that's harsh.
Right? All right, man. So what's your number 2, AJ?
My number 2, I'm going to go to the sequel trilogy now.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Graveyard of Giants.
That was very close on my list.
Because that was one where, I mean, we saw it, and I don't know how. I don't know what your midichlorian count is, kid, but man, the way that you called that in the trailer, the first teaser trailer, like, I don't think Han's flying that ship.
Yep.
I was like, holy crap, you are so right. But even now, like, every time I watch that scene, I can't help but just get geeked and choked up every time. And the key moment is when she says, "Get ready," and I'm like,
yeah,
grabbing my chair, like, you know, white knuckling into the armrest and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
I am ready, Ray. Let's go. I actually keep that 3D Blu-ray in my player so that if I ever need like a quick shot of Star Wars, I will watch just the Graveyard of Giants in 3D. Like, I'll sit down on the couch for like whatever it is, like 10 minutes or whatever, and just watch that, like them running out, you know, and that one's garbage. Like, start there. Then the first time you see the Falcon and taking out, like, that is just, every time I watch it.
That's another honorable mention right there.
When definitely for me.
That scene when it cuts over, like, that hunk of junk, and it's the Falcon. Yep. It's just, you got that whole excitement factor again that you're like,
yeah, exactly. That was like the best way they could possibly bring back the Falcon. It wasn't just like all of a sudden Han Solo flies up in the Millennium Falcon, gets out and goes, "Hi, everybody, I'm Han Solo. Remember me?"
Yeah.
Like, they did it in such a cool way. You know, that's
the one moment, actually, that I don't remember because of the music. The music is great. I've listened to it since, but I don't think of that scene in terms of like, oh, I know exactly what that soundtrack sounds like until they're escaping the planet. Because you get that nice, wholesome, warm chord.
Yeah.
And then the little...
Yeah. I think... God, there was that really famous piece, and don't quote me on this because, again, I still get so geeked. It's the Falcon again. But I think, doesn't it, when they first say, "The garbage will do," and they run and you see the Falcons go, or they do one of the Falcon pieces, like for a quick second when it first comes on the screen.
They do the fanfare real fast,
yeah. So, that's an excellent, that was on my list. It was actually on my list, and then I realized that all of mine were involving the Falcon. So I was like, it's a little obvious. And then when I started thinking about mine, I was like, you know, I'm trying to think of like stuff that really tugs at my heartstrings. And so that one did not, because that one's just like basically gives me a Star Wars boner.
Yeah. When I was compiling moments or trying to think like, especially a top 3, my criteria was pretty simple. It was emotional impact, number 1. So I thought of like, what are the scenes that I can always watch and get the goosebumps? And it's going to be episode 3, the beginning scene, because I never get sick of cranking that thing on you know, the 4K. You know, get the Blu-ray, get the sound bar, crank the subwoofer up, have fun with it.
Yep.
And then going over your place, watching Graveyard of Giants in 3D is amazing.
Is that not incredible?
I have to do that again someday because I saw it twice in the theater in 3D, and I haven't seen it since then.
You got to come over, and Rogue One looks just as good. I mean,
I haven't seen that one in 3D yet,
dude. I'm telling you, man. You will have to.
Dude, that's
all right.
Side
Name
note.
a night. I'm coming over.
Yes.
Side note of the podcast here. That's just my cheapness. My wife and my cheap. That TV is kicking so much ass still that we're not like. It's not replaceable because it's still going. It's like, why do we need a new one?
Yep.
It's like, I'm like, I want mine to have 3D.
I can't live without it.
3D.
I've started collecting all the Marvel movies in 3D, and anything that I like that comes out in 3D, I've bought. Like, I've got Avatar, Titanic, Top Gun, which, by the way, watching Top Gun in 3D, even though the conversion it's good. It's not great, but it's good, so it's cool. That movie is so damn good. Just seeing it in 3D as well is so badass.
Requesting a flyby.
Yeah.
It's a negative Ghost Rider.
You just get these crazy flybys. Highway to the danger zone. You're like, yeah, this is the best ever. Like,
the only movie in which Kelly McGillis looked hot.
I know, right? So weird. But all right, Steve. So what's your third one?
Flipping the coin on you. Episode 6. Always about the bad guy thing, but us being pro wrestling fans, there's nothing better than a good old fashioned face turn out of somebody that you don't expect it coming from. So Vader going back and
Vader's redemption.
Getting a little bit of light into his life again.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to call a face turn on you for that one.
Yeah, right?
I would never expect you to like the scene where Vader goes back to being Anakin again.
Yeah.
It's I like that scene. It's just that clarity moment of turning and throwing the Emperor off of the railing there. And you're just like, you know what? I still like the guy. It's cool. It's whatever, man.
You've been evil enough for long enough. Now let's see you be good again.
So you've had your moment, and now you're trying to. It's like people on death row where they all want to find Jesus when it's too late. You know?
That's exactly what it is.
It's just old Annie pops out, and he's just like, you know what? This Luke kid's saying some good stuff over here.
You make a lot of sense, kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's like, what are you, a Jehovah's Witness? Because you just converted me.
Hey, you know damn well, as all of us sat back in the 90s and early 2000s and watched wrestling, and you saw those guys that you never thought were going to make that face turn, and they did it. You're like, yes!
Right?
Like, I don't even like this guy, but I like him today now.
Right. Yeah, no, that's always a good one. And you know, going back to the special edition argument, I will never understand why people get mad when they complain about him going, no, like he's just, you know, he's rejecting what the Emperor wants to do. It doesn't change anything. It's him that doesn't affect me, and the scene still is just as powerful.
I'm gonna take the other side on that one.
Well, that's fine. You'd be wrong, but
without him like mumbling no first, you still don't know if he's. You see, like the fact that they're showing him it all on screen says, okay, he's thinking about this, but you don't know what he's thinking about this until he lunges at him and throws him over. With the vocal cue, you're like, oh, I know what's coming.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if I were to think about it and I was watching the movie not knowing what was coming, I could see that. I mean, that actually is a good point. So I will
You go back and rewatch it, and he's just looking back and forth between the Emperor and Luke, and then he just says no, and then tosses Luke over the thing. He looks at the Emperor and goes, God, he wouldn't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Jesus, he was whiny.
I just got tired of listening to him.
That guy can take a lot of lightning.
No, that
Should
definitely
name that kid Bobby, as in Bobby Q.
Nice. Yeah, that was one of those things where, you know, starting with the scene where Luke gives himself up, I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Like, that's one of those things where you start seeing Vader like, you know, it is too late for me, son. It's like, wait a minute. Like, you kind of start getting that ambiguity in there. It's like, well, that's a little more human. Like, what's going on? And then they're fighting, and to see him, you know, kind of do that where he's, you know, there is no conflict, and he's trying to be evil, but you have that seed of doubt, and then to see it come to fruition, like,
yeah, you know who says there is no conflict? People who have conflict.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have that little seed of doubt, and then to see Luke almost die, and I really think what's really powerful about that is where you really start getting that seed of doubt about Vader's when it is too late for me, son. Like, you hear him use the term son, you're like, ooh, that's not just good guy, bad guy.
Yeah, he is basically turned at that point, but he's just telling Luke, like, no, like,
yeah,
I hear where you're coming from, but it's too late.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
And then for Luke to say, Father, please, like, it carries so much weight because it follows up on, and you're like, and it really kind of hammers home the point. Like, you already know they're father and son, but to actually, when you hear them each mention son, father, like it there's that bond, and you're like, oh my God, is he going to let him die?
Like you said, even earlier on when they're just walking down the hallway and they're talking about the lightsaber and all that, you started to see, like you said, the human aspects of Vader coming back. It was that little father-son connection, of pushing Luke around on a little bicycle with no training wheels on it.
All right.
Like, he never had that moment, and now he's getting it. He's like, oh, so you made your own lightsaber, huh, buddy?
Good for you.
Job.
Good for you.
He just pats Luke on the head and gives him a sugar cookie, sends him on down the hallway.
Here, you eat this. I can't eat it anyway.
Get out of here, you little scamp.
Why don't you go over there and get yourself a snack, buddy.
All right.
There's some chocolate milk in the fridge I was saving. You can have it.
Blue chocolate milk.
All right.
All right, AJ. I'm going to leave mine for last because I think mine is going to really be kind of like, you guys be like, what the hell? So what is your third one?
Well, you stole my thunder a little bit because my number one moment is the turn when Luke hollers out in anguish when Vader finally gets to him in Return of the Jedi and says, if you will not be turned, perhaps she will. And then, music swells. He yells, no! Yeah, he just goes for broke. He's hacking away in rage. That's the one scene that always gets me. It's the one thing I remember most of anything from the first time I ever saw Star Wars. So, of course, it's going to be my number one.
Really? I never knew that.
I mean, I remember Yoda dying and being heartbroken about that, which is weird because I didn't see Empire first. So why I cared so much about this little green guy dying that I just met, I don't know. But
young age, it's a good guy. You automatically feel connected to those characters. So
yeah,
understandable.
I think so. But yeah, for some reason, that's the one bit of your moment.
Yeah,
your 40-minute moment.
Oh, shut up.
That's the peak of it for me, though. Is when he's going for finally Vader got through. Like Luke did such a good job of holding it together and trying to hold to his ideals, and finally he's like, "All right, F this. I got to let loose."
Yeah. I mean, it's the triumph of good over evil, but Luke almost snaps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I say, it's such a powerful scene. That's why I said I think I might have something that overlaps yours because I thought yours was going to be the Vader Luke lightsaber battle at the end of Jedi because you've always mentioned that as
that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my final one is again a collection of moments, but
you came up with the topic and you didn't even follow your own rules.
No,
dude.
I did because look, it's like favorite moments in Star Wars, and my favorite and this is emotional.
No, this is like when I go to the gym and we have 5 reps of man makers. A man maker is a push up, a row, a push up, a row, a push up, a burpee. There's 6 movements in this one rep.
I don't
That's
care.
not one rep. That's 6 reps.
I don't care. God damn it. I could do what I want. It was my idea to have a podcast. So if I want to F up a topic, I can F up a topic. Now listen, damn it.
This is what happens when we leave you in charge of topic creation.
Yeah, well, we get a whole show out of it. Oh no. So it's kind of, I didn't know how to kind of water this down to one particular moment because there's not much of this. Screen time all totaled is probably only a few minutes when you really think about it. But the times in episode 3, it all happens in the first 45 minutes of the movie. But the few times when you see Anakin and Obi-Wan in scenes of friendship, when Anakin's apologizing and have been arrogant and, well, you will be a far greater Jedi. Goodbye, old friend. Goodbye. That one I will use that as probably the biggest example. It's the last time you ever see them on screen as friends. And the stuff when they're kind of buddy-buddy. No. And for me, when I saw that movie and knowing how it was going to turn out, because you already knew even the first time you saw it that he's going to turn into Vader and they're going to fight. You already knew that. So when I was watching the story play out, whenever I would see them on screen as friends and being kind of, and I hate to use this word, but tender towards each other, all friendly and stuff, it was heart-wrenching to me because I knew where it was going. And to this day, whenever I watch those scenes, and especially the one when he says, "Goodbye, old friend, may the force be with you. May the force be with you." every part of me just goes, oh man, don't turn. Like, no, don't turn. I still can't watch that movie without seeing that scene and thinking, oh my God, I don't want to see this. Like, stay good. And it's just like, that is the most emotional moment in Star Wars for me. And it's so powerful to me. I always have the same reaction, and I've never reacted more emotionally to anything for some reason in the Star Wars saga.
I'm really surprised at that, actually. I know you love that movie, but I didn't realize that those collection of scenes hit you that much.
Yeah, it's just like and that's why I will defend that movie, till the day I die, because of the way it makes me feel, the way they played that story out. The first time I watched it, I still get the same feeling. I always feel like, oh man, don't turn. Like, there's so much, like you don't have to do this kind of a thing. And it's the story was not just he's an a-hole, now he's a super bad a-hole, he's Darth Vader. It was different. It was, there was love in his life. There was things there, and he just couldn't see him because he was blinded by, Palpatine's influence and things like that. And it's still the most powerful emotional reaction that I've had in any of the Star Wars movies. And there have been things that are close, but that's what I remember the most. And I always feel the same way. As soon as I put that movie in, my heart just droops a little. I'm like, oh.
That's kind of one of my problems with it too, is because it's a heavy movie. So if I'm looking to like watch some Star Wars, I usually want like the fun and the uplifting adventure kind of. I don't go for episode 3.
Yeah.
That's just
at this point is the hate and everything, with JJ and all that. If I'm just looking for Star Wars to grab to just get a fix in, it's like I go to episode 7 now.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's like you said, everything leading up gives you these little things, especially with episode 3 and all that you're just like, I don't want to really watch the stuff with the Clone Wars, so I'll skip 2. Episode 1 is just generally, not that great. It's like this pod racing and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to skip that. Episode 3's got that stuff. And like, it's like, it's either we're watching Return, we're watching Empire, or so it's either 5, 6, or 7. And so, yeah, it's just.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is, man. For me, it's just that was the movie that I reacted the most.
Well, then again, I also have been known to just watch movies up to certain points and go, that's what I wanted to see in that movie. I'll skip to the next one. So.
Right. Well, when you've seen these movies as many times as we have, it's like, I'll just
I'll
pick
watch
and choose.
The first 20 minutes of episode 1, the first 30 of episode 2, the first 45 of 3.
Right. But yeah, so that's, again, it's not really, I mean, it is kind of a collection of scenes, but if I had to pin, I mean, just to, so that you don't complain at me again, it would be that one right before, they get on the ship to go their separate ways, because the John Williams music, when, they're going to confront Palpatine, Mace Windu and Kit Fisto and the other ones.
Agent Kolar.
Yeah. And
Stacey Team.
Yep. Thank you. I'm always terrible with those like B-listers.
Collect more Lego sets. You'll learn them all.
Right.
Really? They made figures of all of them. That's how I know.
They better have.
Heck, you've got the set sitting right over there, don't you? Palpatine's Arrest?
Yep.
There it is. Yeah. It's just, when, it's at sunset and Anakin is sitting there and they've got the music like weird note, and he's crying, and it's just like you could just see he's torn, and it's just so potent, it's so powerful, and I absolutely love that. And like it's all set up by the whole Anakin Obi-Wan relationship, which is going to end poorly, and it just sucks because you see them as friends, you're like, it doesn't have to be this way. And I always have that reaction to it. And it's, and that's why Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie, because I react the most emotionally to it. So.
Well, your reaction is exactly what he was hoping more people would react like.
Well, if I ever get to talk to George Lucas, I'm definitely telling him that. Be like, whatever you were going for in episode 3, I'm mark number 1.
Then he looks at you and goes, that's nowhere near what I was going for.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Where the hell did you get that? I'm like, What are you? Huh?
He tells
What?
you his real vision. You're like, I can't even watch the movie again.
Yeah.
It's just
Now I am pissed at you, George. Up yours.
You know what, George? You're wrong.
Yeah. Screw you, Lucas. Screw you. I've had your back for all these years, and now you give me the finger? How dare you?
You know what, sir? Well, I'm going to insert my own reality into this. I don't need you anymore.
Exactly.
Well, I'll end the greatest moments conversation on this observation that I had just last night, actually, because this week TNT is running basically marathons of the movies, one per day. And I caught the end of Empire Strikes Back last night, and then I didn't realize it was the same movie looping over and over. So as soon as I saw the Lucasfilm logo come up, I was like, oh, cool, Return of the Jedi. And they're like, episode 5. Oh, cool. I guess I'll see the beginning of what I just saw the end of.
Yeah.
But here's the best way that you know that you're watching a truly great movie. And this is the best thing I can say about Star Wars. It does fall apart pretty easily and gives us plenty of fodder to make fun of on the show if you look at it too harshly. But the fact that you can get sucked in to the story and all these moments that we're talking about to where you just don't care when it's on the screen in front of you, that's a testament to the storytelling.
Yep.
Because it is a whole bunch of utterly ridiculous things strung together that make no sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter when you're watching it. It all fits and feels right in the moment.
Yeah. It's basically like you like the characters so much, so you watch the movies from the perspective of the Star Wars universe. You're in the Star Wars universe, not the real universe. Because if you did,
you're not sitting on your couch staring at a TV. You're trying to insert yourself into what you're watching on there.
If I was living in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago, whatever, like this is how reality is. Like you buy into it because the characters are so cool. And so you don't look at it. That's why all the nitpicking that people do online and just poking holes and stuff. Oh, that's so fake. It's like, well, not in the Star Wars universe. It isn't. Like and that's where you're supposed to be when you watch this. That's the whole fun of it. It's an escape.
It's like, you know what? None of it is real. There's the aliens, the stupid blasters, the swords made of light, and you're picking this one moment to say that's ridiculous. That's fake. Really?
Yeah, you think?
How about it's a movie, sir?
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Well, on that note, we will close up shop for this week. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. Don't forget, we are brought to you by Audible.com. Kinda. You can go to www.audibletrial.com/NHC for a free 30-day trial period of the Audible audiobook system. There we go. And you can get a free audiobook download. If I can make a recommendation, I'm in the middle of one right now, which is excellent so far. Inferno Squad. The lead up to the Battlefront 2 game, but the Inferno Squadron book is kick-ass. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's very, very good so far. So
that's a pleasant surprise. I actually had low expectations for that one.
Yep, I did too, but I'm really enjoying it. So I would recommend that. So you can go there. If you'd like to check out the Nerf Herder Council, you know where to find us. We are at nerfherdercouncil.com. You can check out every episode on YouTube. We are on iTunes, where if you would please be so kind, if you're listening there, to go give us a 5-star review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher up we come on searches, and it's just all in all a very good thing to do for us, so we would appreciate it.
Subscriptions really help too. Apparently that's like the number one factor on iTunes is how many subscribers you got.
Well, there you go. So do that.
So create some fake iTunes accounts, subscribe on all of them, and then copy and paste your reviews and change some words so it doesn't seem like spam.
Exactly. We are on Spreaker. That's one of our main platforms. We are on Stitcher, Google Play, all sorts of fine podcast distributors. You can go there and find us. If you'd like to interact with us, we are on Twitter at NHC Podcast. We always like to have banter back and forth with people that check out the show. We appreciate that. If you would like to hear yourself on the show, you can always leave us a voicemail, 440-987-WARS, which is 9277. So check us out there. And again, thanks for checking out the Nerf Herder Council. We are only 2 episodes away from 50. So we're kind of pumped up about that, because 50 episodes gives you the ability to have, 50 episodes. So
now, we don't know what specifically we're going to do yet, but there's going to be something for the 50th episode that it's going to be special, at least in some way or another. We don't know how.
Everything we do on this show is special because we're all special.
Exactly.
We promise a solid 12 hours of texting back and forth before that show to get a good idea of what we're going to do.
And we still won't come up with shit.
As opposed to the 3 or 4 hours of texting we do before shows currently.
We'll be all prepared and stuff.
I might write another note.
How about that?
Or two.
Oh yeah, don't forget you can send us some money and get our actual show notes. So if you'd like to have actual Nerfherder Council memorabilia, you can do that. So that'd be
mine's autographed.
Yours is the most valuable because of that. You need to make a certificate of authenticity for that, by the way.
That would count as a second note.
Nice.
Pay us twice,
right?
It's gonna cost you $2 now.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Well, thanks again for checking us out. Until next time, I am your host, JT at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ
at Drake Adams 579.
He is Steve
at JSteve1005.
And we will catch you next time.
Is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my nerf herder.
You my nerf herder.